Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of TechSci Talks podcast. Today we are here to discuss something that every rider or driver must have thought about at some point, that is EVs. On papers, the EV policy and overall EV outlooks look very powerful. That is supportive government policy, industry push, cleaner mobility, and lower running cost. But what it is that is making the switch from ICE to EV difficult for a lot of people today also. In today's episode, we'll unpack such myths, facts, and actual reasons that are actually hindering the shift from ICE to EV. To unpack all this, today we are joined by Mr. Nishant Kotnala, Associate Director eBikeGo. Nishant brings in a strong experience and expertise in mobility and electrification sector along with an experience in strategy, consulting and market entry. Nishant has been working closely on different mobility themes such as high value and high speed transport to EVs. So let's start with the first segment of this conversation. I think it would be best if the audience could first know about you in the conversation and then we take it forward. What was the thing that brought you into electric vehicle and mobility? Because what I could see is from your expertise and your career journey that you have been into market research as well, market entry, strategy and consulting. So what was that one thing that brought you into EV?
Okay, thank you for inviting me here. So my experience started from hardcore engineering. I've been into engineering consulting firm for like last a decade now, and my experience was into electrification of high speed trains. So I
Okay.
came into this field very early in my career. I got an opportunity to electrify Delhi Chandigarh
Okay.
high speed trains, and of course with some international exposure on this because my initial exposure was with a French company. So along the journey I came to know and understand that how this industry works, the
Mm-hmm.
railway and the metro industry works. So then I found that the EV industry is apparently it's a more mature one. It just needs to be executed properly.
Okay.
Right, so that's how I came into this EV industry because the major difference between a train and a EV, both are electrified. It's the major difference is the terrain on which it runs.
Mm-hmm.
Train runs on a fixed route,
Right.
right? And but the EVs they have the different route because of the road network,
Understood.
right?
Understood.
So you can say they are basically a defragmented electric vehicle if we compare it with the
Train.
railways,
Okay. Understood.
trains.
So, was there a you could have you could have continued your journey with the train segment itself. So, what was that particular thing which brought you into EVs, specifically two-wheelers segment?
Okay. So the story starts very early in my career. I always wanted to be an automobile engineer,
Okay.
right? So my father guided me on this. I wanted to opt for mechanical and automobile engineering. So my father guided me start with electrical engineering because the future of auto mobility is electric. So
Understood.
that's how I got into electrical engineering.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, when I got the opportunity when the EV boom came into India, so I thought this is the right time to tap into what I belonged.
Understood.
So that's how I came into EV world.
Okay. And how has your past experience and past exposure helped you out in this journey of India's EV scenario? Because you mentioned that you have worked with the French clients as well.
Yeah.
So how did it help you out with India's EV journey, getting into the India's EV journey?
Okay. So in getting into India's EV journey, my prior experience has been quite pivotal on this because while developing metro projects for India and neighboring regions like the Southeast Asia also, so there was always a problem for the last mile delivery or the last mile mobility
Okay.
in railway terms. That was not fulfilled because how to reach a metro station from your home, right? So this was always an issue right from the very beginning because initially India knew about only railways,
Right.
trains, which are going state 1 to state 2, right? We do not have anything intercity concept. Then metros came. There are multiple stations being installed, being erected, and then there was another problem: how to reach to the station. So
Okay.
this was the last mile delivery point,
Mm-hmm.
which I found that an EV would be more beneficial and more sustainable in terms
Okay.
of environment also. How you can reach to the station.
Okay.
So
So the idea was how to help reach the metro station
met-
faster and in
yeah,
a sustainable
in a
manner.
sustainable way and an environmental friendly way.
Okay, understood. So that brought the concept of e-bike go.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell more about e-bike go?
So eBikeGo is an Indian company based in Mumbai. It's a manufacturing company now.
Okay.
They manufacture the electric two wheelers, and now also to some extent they are personalizing this experience for the consumers also, not with the only with the gig workers.
Okay.
So they have partnered with many gig workers. For example, the food delivery agents,
Okay.
for the delivery guys, be it logistics or any other relevant business. So they are into those. They are serving those people, the gig workers. So this is about the whole e-bike go. It's their technology is very high grade, and the design language and what do you say, the execution is very spot on. They have a good footprint in Mumbai, and they
Okay.
have also expanded to Delhi also. And what the best they are doing is they are actually solving a very big pain point of this industry, because our the EV industry is the workers, the people associated with this industry in the maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
They are not very much skilled because they come from the ICE background,
Right.
right? They have been primarily either with a big automobile company or with a smaller maintenance workshop. They have that sort of skill set. Now there is a gap to be filled. That skill set needs to be optimized for maintaining an EV vehicle.
Okay.
So they are also developing a training center where these people could be properly trained through theoretical and practical applications, so that India can be can go into the full 360-degree cycle of running and maintaining the EV vehicles.
Understood. And as you mentioned that you would also be customizing it basis the requirement of a general customer
Yeah,
rather than these gig workers right now. So when can we expect that coming out?
very soon, very soon. We
Okay.
have been working on this as well. So very soon we'll be coming out with some really appealing solutions
Mm-hmm.
in which Gen Zs and other young people can really take forward with it.
Okay. So we were talking that, the reach has been increasing in Mumbai and in Delhi NCR it is emerging but it requires time. So what is that particular thing that is challenging about this region, and also if I talk about overall India, so what is one challenging thing that makes it difficult to increase the EV footfall or EV reach?
Okay, so while this company is based in Mumbai and now we are expanding into Delhi, see, because I'll explain you with giving a contrast between ICE and EV industry. It Adopting an EV is a basically it's adopting it's a whole financial ecosystem,
Right.
right? Or you can say the economic, would be a more better term, economic ecosystem. Because with ICE vehicles there is a huge industry, there is a huge maintenance companies are there, right? Those people have been trained to maintain and repair those vehicles, those petrol and diesel fueled vehicles,
Okay.
right? With those, insurance companies have their set policies when to how to insure them for any damage, if there is any damage. Then there are other channels also in, like the sales. right? Those people are also trained over the years to sell those vehicles because they know the pros and cons of those vehicles, right?
Right.
And above on it, our consumers,
Mm-hmm.
they also have a mindset of driving a ICE vehicle. Now, when
Right.
it comes to EV, so there is a shift in the behavior change, right? So when it comes to EV, there are few questions in on the mind of every consumer. What would be its range?
Right.
If I run out of this charge, what will happen? Are there any chargers?
Yeah. What
You
about
know,
the resale value?
what about the resale value?
What if any part gets
Yeah,
damaged?
parts get who will repair?
Right.
If I go like from A to B, would there be any skilled man force who can repair
Right.
it? Or if I go, if the skilled man force is there, are they going to ask me that come after 2 weeks the part is not available?
Right.
So these are the challenges which behavior shift which Indian consumers are adapting to it.
Mm-hmm.
And this could only be, it comes with trust, and trust comes with time, its own time,
Right.
right? This can only be developed with the right mindset, with the right, sort of like initially when I started driving EV, I had one anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
range anxiety.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was not very sure okay, how it will, you know, react to the how I drive because my foot and my mind was trained to, I know how the
Understand.
needle will dip,
Right.
right? And how much fuel is remaining and how much I can go
Correct.
in that fuel. We have a mindset in ICE vehicles that when needle we will refuel when the needle comes to empty.
Right.
In EV it does not happen like that.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be, stay alert. If your battery percentage drops to 25 or 30%, you need to recharge it to full
Okay.
to remove that redundancy of how, why, you know
Right.
you need to plan your journey
Mm-hmm.
every day. Like it depends on how you drive, be it 4 day or 5 day a week. You need to have a fixed mindset that okay fine, my daily driving is like around 60 to 70 kilometers, so I'll be fine. I know after third or fourth day I have to recharge my car again, car or two wheeler. So
Okay.
this is the mindset which people, I think, in Delhi, they are trying to gain access over it and understand how it is to be done, because
Understood.
those things are very instrumental in adopting any new technology, right? Having said that, EVs are very popular on commercial ways, like e-bike goes initiative for the gig workers for the logistics. They are very popular and gaining traction in Delhi as well. You must have seen many trucks are getting electrified now,
Mm-hmm.
because yes, because the cost of running is very less as compared to ICE vehicles. So
Okay.
that is the major challenge Delhi is facing,
Mm-hmm.
because mainly of the infrastructure,
Right.
right? Because not every charging, high power charging can charge a two wheeler also,
Right.
right?
Right.
They are built for cars,
Right.
right?
Right.
And cars should also have a capacity to get charged from that
This
particular
particular
charger
charger.
point.
Yeah.
Initially, in the very first generation EV owners like me, I have, that's my personal experience I'm sharing. I have faced a lot of issues in the charging infrastructure which government has installed.
Right.
They were built for a type B charger, or it's a 2 point charger, I remember exactly. And my car used to have a 3 point charger,
Mm-hmm.
the 3 pin plug and the 2 pin plug which we face in our household thing. So the majorly all the fast chargers are with the old system,
Right.
right? I could found only one charger in Delhi around my place where I could charge my vehicle when I purchased it.
Right. So recently, we also conducted one survey related to
Okay.
the challenges that different users are facing. So, while people talked about range, but the first and the foremost challenge that they highlighted was this only charging infrastructure
Yeah.
and trust in the charging infrastructure. So, I believe, yeah, so most of the consumers, like you yourself, have experienced it. So, most of the consumers have this pain point of charging infrastructure.
Yeah, of course, it is there. But government policies have been shifting. There are few government schemes like the FAME 2 scheme,
Right.
in which owning the vehicle is getting easier. When it was also for the cars also, but that policy has been lapsed now. I think currently they are not offering any. I would say the subsidies. That time period has been lapsed, but still for the commercial vehicles and all, those schemes have played a very uh, pivotal role in adopting the EV, be it for government, be it for the normal consumer.
Okay. So I think we are talking about the challenges, but this is my personal view. What I feel is that we have made EV a lot of, policy story or a manufacturing story. If we look into it from a closer view, or because we know the market, how it is going on, if we look into the realistic side, what I feel is that it is more of a behavioral story. And if we focus on the behavioral aspect, like if the customer gains in the trust, that they have the confidence that all the pain points would be addressed, and there was some kind of financial stability as well, and it makes sense to them, so I think the adoption would be higher than what we are talking about right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because behavioral shift, as I've mentioned, it is the biggest challenge
Right.
uh, you are facing right now, or we are facing right now. Because if business models are governed or are being built around the policies, the government policies of subsidies, I don't think it will give you good numbers in the long run. Because
Right.
once the policy is revoked, then the price comes higher. So I think the OEMs, the car companies or the automobile manufacturers, they have to build their business around how to reduce the cost.
Understood. So let's begin with the second segment of this conversation, that is about EV adoption in India. So, what, according to you, in one honest sentence, would be the description for EV adoption in India?
So EV adoption, it's rising.
Okay.
It is what needs to be worked on is the trust, and comes with the consumer experience.
Okay. And what about the awareness phase?
We have passed awareness phase. Everybody in India knows what an EV is. They
Right.
we Nobody needs to tell them that EV is a vehicle that runs on battery and needs charging. So what we have to work on is the to remove the anxieties, and
Mm-hmm.
that anxiety would be can be removed by strengthening the infrastructure, the charging infrastructure, and the maintenance and the upkeeping of the vehicle.
Understood. So, as you mentioned, so how long do you foresee that this will take? It would take few months or few years to build this trust, or like how long?
See, India is very dynamic,
Right.
right? In India, I would say the reach of two and three wheelers are much more than four wheelers, right?
Right.
And so are the people using them, right? So, and EV industry is thriving really good in the two and three wheeler segment. So once this segment consumer is continuously using and sharing their experiences with others, the good experiences with others, like for the two wheelers, many companies have started battery swapping. It is the
Okay.
most efficient way to remove the range anxiety,
Okay.
right? One example I can give you, if you might have seen the quick commerce dark stores, there is somewhere near a battery swapping station is there,
Mhm.
right, for the two wheeler EVs. So that has actually crossed that thing, that fear of running out of charge amongst those two wheeler riders. So slowly and steadily, this will come to the training and maintenance also. And for this, companies like eBikeGo is working towards it, building a whole infrastructure for it. So I think in couple of months or probably 1 or 2 year, we'll be able to meet that expectation.
Okay, so in crux, we can say that India has passed the awareness phase. Now it is in the trust building phase.
Trust building phase, and trust building comes with more ownership experience, the user experience. The more the people will use, the more uh, you can say we'll be able to fix the right plugs.
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So that the system can be run smoothly and efficiently.
Understood. So we are talking about trust, we are talking about awareness, and that we have already passed the awareness phase. So, what is that one particular thing or one particular hesitation that is stopping most of the people to switch from ICE to electric vehicles?
Oh, well, that's an interesting question. um, Switching from ICE to EV is not only the cost,
Okay.
not only the kind of early adopter theory,
Mm-hmm.
not only the mass segment theory, because in India, y- like I'll compare it with the Western countries like the Germany and the Netherlands. There, there are the government policies are such that people are very much mentally trained to adopt the new technology or the new medium of transit. Here in India, we have lot of people, like the
Right.
diverse population we have. If we have early adopters, we have the mass people, and we also have the what we say the those who do for the logistics also, right? All the consumers here come simultaneously,
Understood.
right? So that is the main difference in the adoption or the where in India it's a challenge, and but many governments have optimized their policies, and we can say the subsidies and the other frameworks to make everybody uh, acquainted of this shift.
Understood.
And and at last I would add that behavioral change is foremost, because EV owners have couple of quick questions. First is the range anxiety.
Right.
Then, will my battery last in the extreme heat of Delhi for 5 years? If it does not, who will repair? If I'm stranded, what is the solution? And the last one is the resale.
Understood.
Because in ICE vehicles, you get a good resale value. If you're using any brand, like if you're using a Japanese brand, you will get a very good value. And if you're using in like any other brand, you will get probably less value. So people are mentally, their brains are trained. But in EVs, because the major cost is of the battery, and this if EV is being resold, then value is substantially lower than an ICE vehicle. So that is a question always in the consumer mind: what would be the resale value if I want to resell it in 3 to 4 years from the date of purchase? But as I said, that OEMs are working towards this. Some companies have come with a solution of, you can get almost around 60% cashback in 3 to 5 years of your usage. So slowly and steadily things are coming up. OEMs are getting, more alert on this, addressing the issues. So I think the one sector I think is must work for it is the insurance sector,
Okay.
right? Because the insured cost of EV is a bit higher than an ICE vehicle,
Understood.
right? So the insurance sector also have to work to cover all the cost and the damages if it is if it is at time, and God forbid if there are no major damages, then the insurance company must also, there should be some policy framework from government, so that the insurance company must also cater these damages to the EV vehicles as they are doing it for the ICE vehicles.
Understood. Understood. So we have talked about so many challenges and so many factors. If we have to talk about what is the first and the most real uh, thing that comes into the mind of a consumer that stops them to shift towards EV,
Uh,
one real hesitation.
One real hesitation is the range.
Okay.
It's the range because for someone who is driving 50 to 60 kilometers a day, like they have a fixed drive pattern. For them, EV is a sure shot winner. If they have an unpredictable driving pattern, then there is a hesitation,
Okay.
right? If someone is driving like from Delhi to suppose Noida or Noida to Gurgaon, then you have to cross 3 states, and you might not know if you're in sales where you have to go further,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So then if the unpredictable driving pattern is there, then there is a range anxiety can kick in, and
Okay.
that may let that particular consumer hesitate in adopting a EV. And for that, the solution is the public charging infrastructure,
Right. So the
right?
focus should be on public
The
charging
focus should be on the
infrastructure.
public charging infrastructure, and also if government should like, since I'm from an infrastructure background, I know there are a lot of preventive codes being built when you are constructing a building
Right.
or even a metro station. You have a fire safety system intact before it starts station gets commissioning, the metro station gets commissioning, or even a residential building, right? There are water, electricity, and fire. Three aspects needs to be fulfilled beforehand. It
Right.
comes in the design, and it's a very strong thing. You cannot skip that before you're designing, or your design won't be approved by the authorities if you are skipping those things. So similarly, I think the major challenge, those people staying in multi-story buildings, they are really hesitant because there is no charging, home charging, because somebody is staying on 16th floor. How he will be pushing a wire down from his house 16th floor to the basement to charge his vehicle? So
Right.
I think in the in the construction, the design mandates, these charging nodes needs to be accompanied, so that EV adoption gets easier for those who are staying in the multi stories, be it Delhi, Gurgaon, or anywhere.
Understood. Understood. Do you think the EV industry has sometimes oversold the switch as easy?
Yes, I do agree on that.
Okay. Okay. Any particular reason?
See, in my understanding, adopting a new technology, your consumer needs to be fully educated on that, right? Only by marketing, things are things remain on the surface, right? But when you get into the depth, then only you understand. It's very simple. If you take a dip in the water, then only you will realize how deep it is,
Correct.
right? If you
Correct.
see water from the surface or a swimming pool, you won't find the real depth of it,
Right.
right?
Right.
For that thing, I think in India, I have seen word of mouth is very important in marketing
Right.
or in actual conversion of a sale,
Right.
right? If I'm staying in a society of, let's say, 2000 families, and somebody is using EV, and he gives me some negative feedback which he has experienced, and I'm in a very, I'm in that phase of early adopter. I want to have a EV, and it is good for environment, and it has a very pleasant and quiet ride. I don't like vibrations and all, so I have that side. If I'm that level of customer, I want to invest in EV. So by listening to his experience, I may take a step back,
Right.
right? I may be buying a bigger car than him, but I will take a step back because my risk would be more,
Correct.
right? So I think these infrastructure problems, and the I think it's majorly the infrastructure which gap needs to be filled to remove that all the fears of the consumer, all the risks associated, be it financial or be it operational.
Understood. Understood. So we have spoken about the adoption. So now let's move into the third segment that deals with the range charging and trust. So, like we were discussing, anxiety related to the range has been a pain point that most of the consumers and even you had when you started with your own vehicle. So, apart from range, is charging infrastructure another point that could be a real friction area or real pain point for the consumers?
I would agree on this. The charging infrastructure, because the charging infrastructure comes with a emotional thing also, which is called the charging confidence,
Right.
right? While going on a journey, I have to be very sure that that particular charging station would be working, right?
Understood.
I won't be having the compatibility issues, right? Be it a two-wheeler or three-wheeler. There are multiple applications nowadays which shows that which charging station is actually working and which is not working. And suppose if I'm going from Delhi to Meerut and there is only two charging stations, out of which one is not working and one is busy. And if I'm going for a meeting, then my charging confidence will drop.
Understood. So we were talking about infrastructure like a few moments back. So it is like the trust could increase in the charging and in overall EV as a whole if the infrastructure development gets better.
Yes, of course. The if infrastructure is developed to a full scale, then of course the charging related issues would be sorted. Because see, while driving an electric vehicle and the software, if there is a software glitch, then people can ignore that for a moment. But if there is something which with which my mobility is affecting, that people cannot accept at very that point. Because if there is a like as I've said, what I have faced compatibility issue, not the charging infrastructure issue, the
Right.
compatible which I was not aware of, right? Which I was not aware of. Then my trust will go down.
Okay. Okay.
Where will I find?
Right.
Because see, I'll tell you something. What happens is when you buy an electric vehicle, company says we will install a charger free of cost at your home. Home charging is the best. No alternative, be it economics, be it anything, be it, that's the most efficient and the worry free way of charging your vehicle, right? So the company told me that it will be installed in two days time, max 2 days time. And when that guy came, so he told me that this cannot be installed readily because you have your house being an old construction, it does not have a earthing system. An earthing system is very critical in charging an electric vehicle.
Right.
If you do not have a earthing system, your car won't charge, even if you have connected the charger.
Okay.
Because technically speaking, earthing completes a circuit. So that circuit remains incomplete. So now charging, now my car is like 20 to 30% charge only because it was a new car. So I drove it a bit and charge reduced, and then I was in the problem that how do I charge? So then I have to call the electricity authority people to please inspect and install a earthing system. I was again shocked that earth was never there. It is only the electric poles, those are earthed,
Okay.
not the houses.
Okay.
Okay, that was another challenge. What to do? Okay, fine. I said, very simple, do the earthing for my house. He said, then we have to dig a pit of so and so dimensions, and then earthing conductor you will have to purchase. I will have to purchase, and then every digging construction part will come, and then things will start. I was like, okay, what is the alternative? He said, what we can do best is we can connect your housing electric system, the wiring system, to the electric poles earth system.
Okay.
That is the best way.
Okay.
Okay, like, fine, then do it. And he was again looking on my face like, I was like, what happened? We do not have the expertise.
Okay.
How will you do? Get your own electrician.
Mm-hmm.
Probably he knows how to do it. We are allowed only till the electric poles and your house wirings.
Okay.
So these are the real challenges which I faced to start my charging at home, where I do not have a problem of my neighbors interrupting me while you're installing and all that. Where I do not have that problem. If I have those kind of neighbors, then it would be another issue,
Right.
right?
Right.
So these were the challenges, and things happens like this only because of we have multiple stakeholders when it comes to the power authorities.
Right.
So now then I gradually, okay, fine, I'm not able to charge. It is 3 days now. Now I must find a public charger. Then this compatibility issue came
Off. Yeah.
because of the first generation electric vehicles. The charging plug was different, and my plug was different. My was a second generation electric vehicle.
Okay. Okay.
So these are the the EV adoption hurdles which I have faced. But I think then was the time, but today is the time. Things have fast forwarded a lot. Now there are not much issues. People are trained. The electricity authority people knows what is to be done. Consumer also knows, and even the salesman who's selling you the car, he can also guide you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is the gap people are filling at every point, which I have faced. Now the new EV owner, they don't face such gaps because
Okay.
everything is now connected.
Right. Right. So we are talking about so many hurdles, so many challenges. You mentioned about your personal experience as well. What I feel from the conversation is that apart from those technical points, apart from the trust pointer, is I this is my personal view that I think that convenience is the real benchmark over here. That people are not getting convenience and it is not convenient for them. That is why they are finding it difficult to switch from ICE to EVs.
Yes, of course, because we are born in that era where cars are filled up instantly,
Right,
right? We can, just fill it up in like less than a minute, and we are good to go,
right,
right? No problem at all. Now, when we have lived through that era of no hassle at all, and we are facing a lot of hassle in just to, fill up my vehicle, so that makes a difference because that is the behavior shift
right.
which we have to be, mentally prepared. Like we are sitting for an exam. We prepare for an exam that exam would be very easy?
No,
No, no.
yeah,
We prepare for the toughest thing, then only we grow,
right.
right? We perform. So that is the mindset I think we all need to have while purchasing an EV or adopting an EV.
So we need to work on the behavior point of view also as well as the mindset of the
Mindset
population.
also. Once the mindset will be there, you will be prepared, right?
Understood,
Yeah.
understood. So for an average Indian rider, what kind of daily compute or use case makes EV adoption viable today?
For a daily commuter, I think if you have access to charging at home and office, I don't think anything in between would be an issue,
Okay,
right? Personally speaking, and even statistically, EV rides are way more comfortable
right,
than any ICE vehicle. You will feel, even if you sit in a luxury car, a ride of a luxury car, or ride of a Honda City, or a ride of a Maruti car, you will feel the difference of no vibration during the
right,
journey,
right,
right? And which you can experience only in an EV,
correct.
right? There is no vibration at all. So that quiet ride has its own benefits, right? You
Okay.
get the quality ride.
Right. So we were talking about the charging infrastructure and importance of home charging, and you mentioned that office charging as well for daily commuters. Do you think that if this charging problem of home charging and office charging also is addressed, then we can get that adoption rate of EVs in India?
Of course, yes. Because see, if you fundamentally think a car, a bike, or even anything in which you want to commute, there is a set limit which you drive daily,
Right.
right? If you are a employee to any company, then you have a set distance you have to cover daily. If you are staying in Delhi, you have to go to Gurgaon, then 25 kilometers. Round trip would be somewhere around 50 kilometers. I'm talking on an average. So 50-kilometer charge. So 50 kilometer of range is a good range. Any EV would comply,
Okay.
right? And if your car runs 200 kilometer in a full charge, then on which day you need to charge it, right? So this is the kind of planning you have to do after owning a electric vehicle. You need to predict your journey.
Okay.
Same thing happens with if you want to travel to a different state. You need to plan your journey. You have to see where public charging infrastructure is there, because many private players have entered into this charging infrastructure. Many international companies are also there, right? And they are doing a really good job. But there is one hidden, I would say, a gap is there, because if you are, say, if you are traveling from Delhi to Uttarakhand for, or a hill station for a vacation, and you cross UP, you cross different states. I'm
Right.
just giving it for example. So the electricity provision of electricity is not continuous,
Okay.
right? So it might happen, your electricity might get cut off during charging,
Hmm.
and then you don't know how
How
long you
long
have
it
to,
will take?
how long it will take to come back.
Okay.
But if, what I have seen that some companies have plugged this thing, the electric charging company, they have installed a diesel generator
Okay.
to fix that thing. But
Understood.
that also happens with bigger companies, because installing a diesel generator is not a easy way, right? First of all, the uh, capex is high, and then opex is also high, right?
Right.
So on installing everywhere a diesel generator is not an easy task.
So we were talking about the charging infrastructure and importance of home charging, office charging, and how these issues can be addressed. And we also spoke earlier about, that if you only mentioned that if somebody is living on 16th floor, it will get very difficult for them to charge their own vehicle. So how do you see, in a culture where apartment living or condominiums are increasing? If I talk about not just Delhi NCR, all over the country. So, how would this issue be addressed?
This issue can be addressed on the, I would say, in the design and execution phase, and the policy matter also, because lot of multi-story, the old multi-story culture, like let's take for example Dwarka,
Okay.
right? There are multiple societies. Not every society is comfortable with having a charger. Now, many people have adopted, but not every society is very comfortable because of, the risk associated with that. Kids, kids get vulnerable. They
Okay.
have an apprehension that kids might, touch those vehicles, and it could be, risky affair. So I think if this adoption is, if we need to increase the adoption, then this has to be changed at the policy matter. That
Okay.
if buildings are being constructed, then charging of vehicle, the points for the charging vehicle should be there, because it is only a minor change in the wiring diagram,
Okay.
right? An extra wire needs to be added, which could cater like the 3 to 7 kilowatt of charging load.
Okay. Okay. So now we have spoken about public charging infrastructure, home charging infrastructure, and even we spoke about battery swapping in between. Now, what would solve India's EV adoption out of these three?
I think all three play a very different role,
Okay.
because consumers are different, their needs are different, their pain points are different. As a government, must think pragmatically on all three aspects, because if I segment the whole population, then I think two and three wheelers will be on top. They
Okay.
have the maximum number. So battery swapping is an answer,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
if I segment it further down, like I will funnel it down, then then comes the passenger category, the cars category. For that, home and office charging is the right solution.
Okay.
That is the
Okay.
most economical one, right?
Okay.
Later, I'll give you my own number, how much I have saved using an EV, right?
Okay.
And
Okay.
the one who are traveling interstate, like be it public transport services or the logistics, then public charging infrastructure you cannot miss out. That high
Okay.
speed charging.
Okay. So we have talked a lot about adoption, charging infrastructure. Let's talk about the money part, the economics and ownership reality in India. So the EV pitch is usually lower running cost, be it India or be it any part of the globe. But does the average rider really calculate total cost of ownership, or do they stop at the upfront cost?
Okay. I think that's a very well framed question because I'll start with the fundamental business model. Whenever there is a new product in the market, its cost is higher, right? Why? Because the company who has developed that product, they have invested a lot into R&D and D and
Right.
production, right? So the economics point of view and the business point of view, they want to retrieve the cost as soon as possible,
Okay.
right? So the initial cost of the new product in the market is way too high to cater for the investment company has made towards it,
Okay.
right? For any product, not a car, for any product, uh, be it a internet product, a physical product, or you can say the service or any app we are using, right? On, you can we are in the world of AI, right?
Right.
So we know how a paid model is expensive or cheap to any user, but actually the real cost of using that fully paid AI model, for example, is lot less than what we are paying right now,
Right.
right?
Right.
Similarly, it comes to the physical products also. So initially, for a couple of years, company tries to get to earn the investment, then some profit, and then when what happens during that period is the product gets matured. There are a lot of iterations and a lot of improvements are being done during that phase. So company keeps investing that money,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So now we have moved past the awareness phase, but we are still in the I can say we are early adopters kind of, because EV is still a new concept in India,
Okay.
right? People are hesitant because of the large capital cost initially, and then yes, for the running it is quite low as compared to the ICE vehicle, and it has some also good features in the car, and because of its design, we save a lot on the operational expense also, right? Let's start with the charging first. Charging from home and office, from the basic electricity points, it is the most economical one. If you go towards the fast charging, the high power chargers, they are expensive,
Okay.
right? Again, why they are expensive? Government is not charging them a lot of money for every unit of electricity spent, but since they have installed that thing there, that whole infrastructure they have created to run a fast charger, so they are trying to recover that cost, due to which it's a business model. Just everybody knows about it,
Okay.
nothing hidden, right? That is why the cost is higher per unit of electricity. I can, with my experience, I can tell you, uh, it is 4 times, 4x,
Okay.
right? What I am paying at my home and what I am paying at the somewhere midway in the highway. But there also comes the opportunity cost in that. You are getting a facility in mid of the highway. You are charging your vehicle in like half an hour or 40 minutes to full charge. That is the advantage. That is the cost also associated with that, right? The value which they are imparting to the users.
Understood. Understood. And this we talked about on the view of the business. What about the riders? What is cost in terms of the riders? It is the upfront cost that they are considering or the overall cost of ownership?
Initially, it's upfront cost,
Okay.
right? If a product is expensive and the acquirer or the user, he has a limited salary or the limited income source, he will think twice, right?
Okay.
If it is not in his range, he will think twice how to get it. Shall I go for a loan? No, okay, fine. If he's like earning substantially good, then he will think that okay, fine, let's go for a loan, and then he will start doing the calculation. He will come into calculation part. Like, okay, fine, I ride this much, like what we have been discussing. If you
Right.
ride this much, and in a week, let's say 1,000 kilometer I'm riding, and in a month it comes around like 4,000. Okay, fine, I'll be spending with my current vehicle. The petrol cost would be this, the maintenance cost would be Y, and X plus Y comes out to be this. And if I'm charging from home and office, it is very cheap. I think I can go for it. So these are the things people generally start calculating when the price is higher. If the
Right.
price is lower and those added advantages are also there, then it's a win-win situation.
Correct.
So prices will come down due to, see, any pricing of product comes down when there is a competition,
Right.
right? What we are today paying for a outgoing mobile call, we are not paying at the time when mobiles were introduced.
Right.
5 to 6 rupee a call was there. Companies were charging, and today it's free of cost.
Correct.
Unlimited calls are there. So that is the value of competitiveness, right? If there are companies who are offering at a at a subsidized way or in any way, they're creating a value to the customers, then prices come down.
Okay.
And as far as my experience, the hidden cost associated with an EV is not only the running cost which you are getting per kilometer, it is also the maintenance cost,
Correct.
because there are no moving parts as such. There are no engine oils, right?
Right.
There are no engine oils, there are less moving parts. Secondly, uh, because of the weight distribution of an electric vehicle, it's a uniformly distributed on all four wheels because of the massive battery pack in its chassis, right? And the motor is currently in front in the bonnet part of the car, but that does not have very, you know, proportionately large weight as compared to the battery. It is very light as compared to the battery. Let's say it's around 60 kgs, and
Mhm.
battery is somewhere around 500 to 800 kgs, the weight of battery, right? So what happens with this uniform weight distribution is the wear and tear of tires, right? If you drive your car to 50,000 kilometers, you need to change your tires,
Correct.
right? And changing all four tires, people generally change all four tires, right?
Right.
At a go. Okay, fine, yeah, tires are important, right? And what happens in ice vehicle? Only front tires gets wear down. If you have ever listened to someone or experienced it, only front tires get wear down faster.
Right.
Because of what? Because of the weight distribution. The engine is quite heavy,
Mhm.
and because of that weight of the engine, that massive weight like 2 to 300 kgs, the front tires gets wear out quickly. So this does not happen in an EV.
EV.
So you
Right.
save around 30 to 40,000 of the cost of the tires when you run an EV. That is a
Okay.
hidden cost. And second cost saving comes with the brake pads you are using. The cars are using. Generally, in third to fourth service, your brake pad needs to be changed, right? That is also a cost like 2 to 3 grands, right? Why this happens in EV? Because there is a regeneration mechanism. If you lift your pedal from the accelerator, like for a red light or for a small halt, the car deaccelerates very quickly.
Okay.
So you don't have to press brake pedal always. It is only for the emergency braking you have to press the brake pedal. So brake pad are also those costs which generally common people doesn't know that it is also a part of it, because brake pads replacement is less, but
Understood.
still it is a cost whenever you
Right.
have to do that, right? Because in the stop and go traffic in ice vehicle, brakes are used frequently.
Understood. Understood. So, off the camera, we were discussing about resale value of electric vehicles. Do you think that resale value and questions related to resale, particularly of electric vehicles, add to a lot of psychological factors when it comes to the usage and adoption of EV in India?
Yes, of course. Resale is something, uh, how do I put it? Okay, let's put it in the right way, in the right direction. Let's talk about an ice vehicle, right? If I have to change my car, I'm driving a hatchback, I want to buy a sedan or a compact SUV. I always look for what is the price difference. Okay, what is the price of the new car? Okay, fine, it's somewhere around 15 lakh. Okay, I think I should go for an automatic car. I have spent my life driving a manual car. Let's have the luxury of an automatic car. So it comes around 15 lakh, right? Okay, fine, 15 lakh. Now I'll do like 30%. I will manage from my savings. Rest something from insurance. Yeah, insurance. I think it would be large part insurance. Then suddenly it came. Arey, I have a old car also, na.
Right.
I will get some value. So then I start hunting down for the maximum value,
Understood.
right? And because those cars are commercially and what do you say? It's a proven technology, right? All the parts are proven. They can be refurbished and reused. So that car has a substantial resale value. That is why we are getting the resale value, right?
Okay.
I remember uh, there was a Honda car I was driving for quite some time ago. So after like 7 years, I sold it for like around 55 to 60% of the value. After 7 years, if I talk about my EV, nobody will give me 20%. Matlab, I mean, 20% would be like the ballpark figure
Okay.
as
Okay.
compared to an ICE vehicle.
So we can say that India has still not built that confidence and trust in second-hand EV cars.
Yes, that trust will come with the more the user will experience, the more these vehicles would be reused. Like, for
Understood.
example, uh, if there are only two to three components, major components in an electric vehicle, one is a motor, one is the battery management system, so it's software, and one is the battery pack. Major cost is of the battery pack. Now, if technologies are changing, they are improving day by day. Now, day will come where we'll be able to reuse the batteries. That would be the point of inflection where the resale value of the car will start increasing.
Okay.
If we are able to reuse those batteries, let's say, I just had an idea, if we can use those batteries in inverters,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
If we can use those batteries in inverter, it's a good to go, right?
Okay.
In at home, you don't think ki, okay, fine, 2 hours backup is available. Okay, fine, I'll go for it. 2 hours is fine. I generally get a cut off like 15 to 20 minutes on summers. I think it works. Now at the implementation side, if 20 kg batteries, new lithium ion batteries are providing me that much of backup, now since these batteries are old, let's say 30 kgs of batteries are providing me 2 hours of backup at home. It's a win-win situation. No homeowner will think, where will I keep it? They don't
Understood.
have to think about the space because the mindset is there. Inverter will take some space. And these old batteries can be refurbished and reused. And that is the one way which I feel the EV car batteries could be, could gain some resale value in the market.
Understood. And what if the government makes any kind of policy around this or provides any kind of support or incentive? Do you think the second-hand EV market could grow?
Of course, why not? Because incentive, if government provides some sort of like uh, no road tax in new car, right? Road tax is a good amount now,
Right.
right? If like it's 10 to 11% of the price of the car. So if they are providing such kind of incentives in reusing, like if you are buying a EV, a second hand EV, and if you don't have to pay the road tax, and further some kind of the cash back if government can pay you in your bank accounts, then of course things will work because EVs when entered into India market, the kind the kind of subsidy government provides was in the similar model. You pay
Okay.
the full price, they will pay you back in your bank accounts later, like in a 1 month or something period. So if this
Okay.
can be done, like if they were providing 2 to 3 lakh rupees of subsidy in each car, even if they provide half of it, and registration free of cost, then of course it will gain momentum.
Understood. But then don't you think the market would be too much dependent on government and their policies? Because from adoption to charging, and now if this thing comes to the second hand market as well, then the market would be completely policy driven or government driven?
Initially, government supports this to increase the adoption, to
Okay.
increase the market penetration. For every new technology or anything new is there, government does support, because if it is environment friendly, if it is reducing the dependence on oil, you can see in today's scenario where energy crisis is there. If
Okay.
government can see, I'll tell you a bigger picture on this, the macro point on this. ICE vehicles, usage of ICE vehicles in any country runs on oil.
Right.
India has around 85% they import their oil dependency. Iran, Iraq, everywhere,
Right.
like Middle
Right.
East.
Right.
Now this money for which we are buying the fuel is going out. Electricity we produce domestically,
Correct.
right? So that is our domestic production. So that money will stay in the economy. You will pay the authorities. You will
Right.
not pay on the imported energy which we are buying from others, right?
Okay.
So there is a double benefit. The first benefit environmental, and the second is the macroeconomic benefit. The which actually our honorable prime minister has much into focus that developing manufacturing for make in India schemes and all. So if this adoption comes quickly, so we will be catering a major segment. You see, even if the 2% oil reduction is there, it would be a massive cost,
Right.
right? A massive benefit for any economy. So these are the bigger picture one must see that, or the policymakers should see, so that things can be improved in a to make the nation more sustainable.
Okay. So we've talked about a lot about the policy, the product, the services. Let's talk about the user experience in our next segment, wherein we just need to focus upon the services, products, and overall user experience. So, is the real EV adoption battle now less about awareness that we have already discussed and more about ownership experience?
Yes, it is. I completely agree on this, because awareness phase we have passed,
Right.
right? As we all know what is an electric vehicle, till where it goes, how it goes. Now the battle is really the customer experience, and that customer experience will build over the time with good user experience and through word of mouth channel,
Okay. Okay.
right? The one which I've explained a while ago, that if
Your
I'm
own experience.
my own experience, and if I'm using a EV, and if I'm giving you the right feedback, the this is the best car I have ever purchased.
Okay. So what we can say is that if the consumer feels that they are supported enough, so then it would be all the hesitations would disappear and it would help in the adoption and shift
Adoption,
towards
of
EV.
course, of course. If I'll speak to my neighbors about the benefits which I have received from government, the game changes,
Okay. Okay.
right? The financial benefits I'm getting from the government, and where you are losing, and how much I'm saving. Like, I'll tell you my experience, how much I saved. I couple of week ago I calculated. So I'll give you the rough figures. For my car is now clocking somewhere past 40,000 kilometers, if I am correct. So if I take a figure of 40,000 kilometers, if had it been a petrol automatic car, I would have spent somewhere around 3,60,000
Okay.
on petrol cost,
Right. Right.
right? While charging only at home, because my driving is only on city, Delhi NCR. My cost has been somewhere around 45, 45 to 50,000 rupees for 3 years of driving. So think about the saving. And
Right.
in this, I have not included any. If I will include that, I have not even replaced my tires, then it would be a payback.
Correct. Correct.
The electricity I have consumed was only of 45 to 50,000 rupees for 3 years, not for 1 year.
Right.
So you can, and I'm taking on the upper side of the range. I- if I do it exactly,
Then it will be much lesser.
it will be much lesser. And if I include the brake pad and the maintenance cost, the car that investment is paying me back every month, every year,
Okay.
right? I'll be into negative of my investment. I'll be running into negative,
Okay.
or in other
Okay.
words, I'm being paid back.
Understood. Understood. So, what about the after sale services component and the repair ecosystem in slowing or accelerating the overall EV adoption?
Uh, while the maintenance part and the servicing part, I would like to add here that we are currently gaining that, right?
Okay.
The companies which have their electric vehicles in the market, they have a specialized service centers. They do it very well. Like you give your car, and by the end of day or the afternoon, they will give you back, because and it's very quick, because there is not nothing much to change in an EV car. What they do is, I'll tell you very briefly, they will check the battery
Mm-hmm.
and the motor,
Okay.
right? They will simply plug their laptop. So battery could be checked only with the voltage, right? If voltage is correct, okay, this is the range, the car is giving this much voltage, battery is fine. Similarly with the electric motor, rest everything, it's a normal car,
Right.
right? If there is a minor issues of lighting and the other things, the auxiliary stuff, then they can take care very easily, because it's a normal car,
Okay.
right? So they take very less time, and costs are also less, because there are no engine oils, no the engine oil cost is not there. So it's serviceable, it's very I would say economical. But there is a catch in that. Companies to which you go for service, like the OEMs of automobile, what they are doing is, I think this could be improved further. They are charging you a bit higher than the actual cost. They will persuade you to change the gear oil,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And technically speaking, it is not required. In the normal ICE vehicle, there are like 6 to 7 gears,
Mm-hmm.
and oil is changed like once in 10 years, and
Right.
they will ask you to change in the third service, and you have only single gear system in an EV.
Okay.
So technically speaking, it's not feasible. But yes, companies do have their own business model,
Okay.
right? But it's okay. Even if you add that gear oil charges, somewhere it comes around 3,000,
Mm-hmm.
right? For a single paid service. Free service is completely free if there is
Okay.
no replacement of gear oil,
Okay. Okay.
right?
Understood.
So this is the thing for the service and maintenance part. But yes, gradually people are getting trained in the EV sector how to maintain the vehicle, because there is one such fear also which I have, that washing of the car. They don't recommend to wash it outside,
Okay.
right? Because there is a battery system and
Correct.
lot of electronics. So they say ki please get it washed in the dedicated service center. Don't get your car washed outside.
Understood.
Do not
Understood.
open the bonnet.
Okay.
That is a red
Okay.
flag.
Okay. Another hurdle.
Yeah. They do not
Okay.
open the bonnet. Only use the compressed air to clean the dirt. Don't use water,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So those are the things, but that's justified, being electronic parts and all. So that's okay. But I think these things can be the pricing of the service could be reduced further over the time. But yes, it will happen. I'm very
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Let's be optimistic.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to the next segment wherein we'll talk about the actual reality of the Indian market. So, when we talk about India as a country, it's not just one market. India has multiple markets So, how do you see the difference in adoption and usage of EVs across metros, tier 2 cities, and the smaller towns?
Okay. So adoption of EVs in urban or metro system like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore. So their adoption is morely into the car segment,
Mm-hmm.
right? The passenger vehicle or the two wheeler segment. If you go to tier two city or tier three cities, the users are um, in majority they are two and three wheelers, right? And in urban metro, commercial vehicles are playing a crucial role in adoption of EVs because the costing because they have a fixed route,
Right,
right? The three wheelers, the two wheelers, they have a fixed route, so they know when to charge,
correct.
right? So they are playing a major role, be it urban or be it the tier two or the any tier three city, the two and three wheelers. They are playing a big role in the EV adoption
Okay,
because the cost is less, smaller battery, smaller range, ride is small, the distance is small, and so are the cost associated with be it maintenance and all. So they'll be playing a critical role.
okay. So, if we have to conclude that which particular part of India would be experiencing the highest growth in, say, coming 5 years or 10 years, so it would be tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and
Yes.
that too because of the two wheeler
Two wheeler
adoption.
and three wheeler adoption.
And specifically, if I have to talk, it would be more across the economy.
Gig economy. Gig
Okay,
economy and in tier two and tier three city, maximum people go to work on bike
right,
or a scooter. So those will be gradually replaced. Because running a scooter every day and running an EV, still their scooter costs are very less as compared to car. But if we get into EV structure for a two wheeler, costs are further reduced.
okay,
And when
okay,
people find ki, okay, fine, in 4 hours my scooter is getting charged, what's the harm at home? And I can charge it from my office also. I just have to have a plug.
correct.
So if these two things are met, the access to home and office charging, I think two and three wheelers can play a very big role in EV adoption.
So we can say that two and three wheelers can become the real gateway towards EV adoption in India.
Yes.
Okay, okay,
And just to add on this, luxury car makers have also seen a very sharp rise on the EV adoption,
correct.
right? This is because owning a luxury car is a big capital expenditure.
Mm-hmm.
Running and maintaining it is another,
Okay,
right? So in owning a luxury car, you get a service cost of somewhere around 60 to 80,000
okay,
in one service, simple service, right? If
okay,
you change parts like the brake pads and all, it will shoot up.
okay. So we've spoken so much about the overall EV as a product, the transition, and the market scenario that we are talking about. So, what could be one thing that would make an average rider say that, okay, I am ready to shift to EV now?
I think it's the price,
Okay,
the initial price.
understood.
If it is at par with the ICE vehicle, consumer will shift.
Okay, okay,
That is why government initially planned the subsidy on the mark price
okay, okay.
because they know the advantages of the running cost. People, because we have passed the awareness phase, people know the advantages after owning it.
Correct.
But the biggest hurdle is the initial price. If
Okay.
if OEMs can work on the initial price of the vehicle, be it two or four or three wheeler, then I think it will be smooth transition.
Or if the financing options could improvise,
Yeah,
and
of
if the
course.
competition also increases in the
Finan-
market.
yeah, financing improves, competition increases, things will be very very smooth and easy,
Okay.
right? Because one interesting warranty scheme I have heard, uh, I think it's a it's a MG car,
Mm-hmm.
right? What they offer is it's very sweet and it's very relieving for me as a user, as an existing user. They say you will get a lifetime warranty on battery and motor.
Okay.
I think for on motor also for the first user. So I think if they are giving me a lifetime warranty, Let's say I keep the my car for 10 years or 12 years. If they're taking care of everything, the battery and all, what's there to worry,
Right.
right? I think that's a very smart key
Mhm.
to unlock that adoption challenge.
Understood. And is there any particular company or any particular country, if we talk about to be specific country only, where from which India should take any kind of lessons for improvising the EV adoption or usage?
I think for the EV adoption and usage, we can always focus on the basically the Germany and Netherlands,
Okay.
because they are really good in adoption. See why their public is good in adoption, because government has segmented that thing. They are foundationally literate how to adopt a EV. Because of what? Because government has already set up the infrastructure, charging infrastructure for them, right? And there are a lot of what do I say? There are a lot of auxiliary support also.
Mm-hmm.
If your car gets breakdown in between, there are a lot of
Understood.
services and support, right? For the remote charging and all. So everything there, tech sector, that the technology, the cars they are using, they like they can predict when your car will go empty on a
Okay.
map.
Okay.
Does any public charger comes before that point or not? And if it is there, how much range would be left? So that gives you peace of mind.
Okay. Okay. So, what does success in EV adoption actually look like to you? Like more sales, better infrastructure, or happier owners?
I think number of units sold is not a success. Happy customer is a big success metric. If you have, say, suppose, if you have 100 EVs sold and your customer is happy, like only 20% customer is happy, and on the other side, if there is another company or another OEM who has sold only 50 numbers and their success metric is 90%. So I think that particular OEM or a company is more successful
Okay.
in AV adoption. B- Probably because that company has given you peace of mind,
Right.
right?
Right.
From the finance part, from the service part, from the insurance part, and lastly with the resale part.
Okay.
If all these four pillars they have erected well in place, I think customer is the best thing happen to any business,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because they will come back,
Correct.
right? And
Absolutely.
eventually the brand building would be only those customers.
Correct. Correct. So, 5 years from now, what will today's EV skeptics be most surprised by?
So charging infrastructure is the most discussed thing, and things are in place because we all have, I mean, government and the energy authorities, we have the background infrastructure in place. It is just
Right.
the front end which needs to be installed. you
Correct.
know when you develop a website, you have a back end and front end. So if back end is in place, the front end can be developed easily. So
Right.
it is just the right framework in which government is doing the framework part of it, in which they can increase the charging infrastructure, the basically the policy guidelines and all for maintaining and upkeeping of the uh, fast chargers and the other charging infrastructures.
Okay, okay. Before we move to the most interesting part of the conversation, that is the rapid fire round, one last question. There would be a lot of viewers who would be listening to our conversation. So, if right now one of our viewer is thinking about shifting from ICE to EV, so what would be one honest piece of advice for them?
Plan your journey, do the right planning, and adopting an EV is a game changer.
Okay,
The hidden benefits are much more than you can see,
okay,
be it not only on the economics part of it, also on the value which you get and the quality of ride what you get from an EV. But also before that, do your ride planning, properly ride
Okay.
planning, in which you can predict your ride, even if it overshoots at some point of time. If you want to, go for a long drive, or you want to go for a vacation or something, you need to be a little prepared on that thing.
Understood. Understood. All right, so let's move towards the most interesting part of the conversation, that is the rapid fire round. And there is just a simple rule that short answers, instinctive answers, and no overthinking at all. So, the first question would be range or charging, what matters more?
Charging.
Okay. One myth you want to kill immediately related to EV.
Anxiety.
Okay. Home charging or public infrastructure charging?
Home charging.
Battery swapping, hype, or a real solution?
Battery swapping.
Is it a hype or a real solution?
It's a real solution,
Okay,
but
okay,
only for two and three wheelers,
okay,
for the commercial use.
okay. One thing every first time EV buyer forgets to ask.
Resale value.
Okay. One city in India that could become an EV benchmark.
I think Pune,
Okay,
because it has maximum number of two and three wheelers,
okay,
and people are more accustomed to use them there.
okay, okay. One policy change that could accelerate adoption of EV overnight.
Making the initial price of the vehicle at par with the ICE vehicles.
Okay. Used EV market, is it underrated or risky?
It is underrated because
Okay.
used EV market has a huge potential if it is optimized and implemented with strategically in the right framework.
One word for India's EV future.
Inevitable.
Okay, okay, okay. Something funny. If EV adoption in India were a Bollywood movie, what genre would it be right now?
The genre would be a drama movie, because
Okay,
in which hero EV car is struggling a lot to achieve its goal, but over the due course of time, with all the climax and the emotions, it is finally reaching to its goal happily.
okay. So finally, it would be a happy ending.
Yes.
Okay. One icy habit people struggle to unlearn.
The refueling the vehicle when the needle comes to empty.
Okay. Okay, okay. So that was a fantastic conversation today that we had with you, Nishant. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for bringing in both the things. You know, you brought about the strategic depth also into this conversation, and also the practical honesty that every consumer or a real customer wants to know. So thank you so much for that. And the best thing that I personally liked about this conversation is like, every time when there is a conversation related to EV, it is based on EV optimism. This time there was something that we moved beyond EV optimism to actual friction points. We spoke about resale value, we spoke about charging, we spoke about trust. So we spoke about everything. We spoke about that. We even spoke about the manufacturing story and the behavioral story of EV. So this is something which is very nice for the people, and I believe that if we talk in this manner, it could increase the adoption of EV in the coming years.
Of
So
course, of
thank you
course, of
so
course.
much for, such a insightful and wonderful session.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. For more such insightful content, stay tuned with TechSci Research or reach out to us at info@techsciresearch.com.